Hey, what's happening out there? This is Halftime Prep Talk. We're at Russell today, and we're brought to you by Fannin Automotive Family. Check out the Chick-fil-A ticker on the bottom of your screen. You'll see updated team records through Tuesday night. I'm here with Zack Klemme and Matt Sparks. I'm Aaron Snyder. We're going to be inviting guest coach Tim Rice here from Russell, his first year as a head coach, and junior Landa Brewer and senior Matthew Swish Strother. And they're going to join us here in just a little bit. The Red Devils do resume a game that they started on Tuesday night against Greenup, and the rain kind of washed it out. They are in the 5th inning, and they're losing 7-0. So who knows? If you check out the Daily Independent the last couple of days, you know what happened in that game. We don't right now. So you got an advantage over us right now.
It's a time capsule.
Yeah. Did I just blow your mind? Because I blew mine. I don't even know where I am right now. Anyway, Greenup County has been on quite a roll.
Quite a roll, yeah.
As we've talked about. But right now they're cracking up into the record books, and they're climbing to, elite status. Right now, before the conclusion of the game that's happening tonight, we record this on Wednesday, they're 25-0, tied with St. X from 1998 for 6th place all-time KHSA history for the longest streak. So, Zach, do you think the streak will end? I'm putting you on the spot. Do you think the streak will end at any time this season?
At any time this season? Well, they'd have to go, what, 42 something like that to win the...
Yes.
That's hard to do.
It is.
And really, we've talked about this, Matt and I were talking about this before, and we're going to start getting some hate mail for this probably, but...
Yeah, okay.
With UK basketball 2 years ago, is your goal to win the national championship, or is your goal to go, 38-0?
Yeah.
Right.
Which is more important? The way they're just rolling right now. I'm not saying in no way that they need to lose, but you get to some teams where, okay, you keep winning games you should probably lose, then you don't learn the lesson you need to learn. Now they're not playing that way right now. They're finding impressive ways to win ball games. They're playing really well. If somebody, Greenup maybe, or whoever else gets into a situation where they are winning games they should lose, then they're not fixing their mistakes, then a loss helps you occasionally. Now we're not implying that's the case with Greenup. That, in order to answer your question, do I think they'll lose a game? How hard is it to go 40-0? I would say the likelihood that they will lose a game at some point, yes. Now, do you look at their schedule and say, okay, that's a loss or that might be a loss? No, the way they're playing right now, they could do it.
You probably wouldn't predict any as a loss right now.
You wouldn't predict any losses right now. They're number 1, and until they lose to somebody, they probably deserve to be number 1. They've beaten some decent teams out of state as well. But just looking at not necessarily at Greenup, but just at how difficult it would be to go undefeated the rest of the season, odds would have to be that they would lose to somebody the rest of the year, but you just hope it's not in a situation where it ends your season. So if they lose sometime in the next 2 weeks, that's probably not the worst thing in the world. Get it out of your system, reset, keep going, and try to win the whole thing.
And for Coach Logan, what a luxury to have so many different guys that step up to the plate when they need to be. When they need somebody that can call on just about anyone, and they'll answer the bell.
Well, that's probably one of the big keys of how they won so many games. If one guy's not having a great game, you got 2, 3, or 4 guys behind him to kind of pick him up.
Right.
And they're, like Zach said, they're finding just every way in the world to win, they could win. They fell behind against a great Spring Valley team like last week, 7-0. They spotted them 7 runs, come back. Christian Wyman hits a big home run at the end, and they pull it out. Russell pretty much was winning the game for 4 innings. Monday night, winning the game for 4 innings. It was no hitting Greenup County, a very tough thing to do. And then Greenup County had that 1 inning. Gage Hughes hit a big home run. They pulled that game out. It's very tough. Greg Logan had told me Monday night. He said it's hard to hold this team down 7 times in a game. It's hard to hold them team down. It's very hard to do that. So I can see them losing the game here, but it's going to take an awfully full game effort from a team to do that.
It's going to take an off night from Greenup, and it is going to take somebody else's very best effort at this point.
Now, they're going to run us off the premises if we continue talking about Greenup County here at Russell. So we're going to switch gears at softball. East Carter also has an impressive streak, 21 wins in a row for the Lady Raiders, and they are also climbing up in the all-time ranks in terms of longest streaks. They are tied for the longest, or 10th longest right now. Tied for the 10th longest in state history.
This is quite uncommon to have 2 teams in this area undefeated at this point in the season. Right. We're coming up on May. East Carter does not get maybe as much press as Greenup County is getting. East Carter's 15th in the state right now. They're jumping up. They're eclipsing school records. only giving up 7 runs the entire season. Of course, that's Montana foul.
She's thrown what, 6 perfect games
yeah,
over the last 2 years?
Games.
I mean, my goodness.
Only a sophomore.
This year?
Just extreme.
This year,
yeah.
wow.
Sophomore, extremely just tough to even get a hit on, much less score a run on. So we could have some 250 teams by the time this thing's over with. It would be pretty impressive.
All right, let's move on to triple play, and that'll be game balls. And I'm going to save Zach for last. He told me to do so. So I'm going to go with you, Matt, first. Here's your baseball.
Well, I'm going to have to talk about Graham County just a little bit longer here. I had to go with Gage Hughes. Just a big 2 nights here at the plate. 3 home runs in 4 at-bats, dating back to Monday night, and then early in the game on Tuesday before it was rained out. 2 home runs last night, Tuesday night, and another. Greg Logan says they're just eating bacon grease down there. The way Gage Hughes is swinging, I think he should get a endorsement from Jimmy Dean. I mean, he's really swinging the ball bat well, and it's been showing. And also, he's great in the field too. So I had to give it to him.
Gage Hughes. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Oh yeah. I need this, don't I?
Yes, you do.
All right, juggling act here on HTPT. I'm going to go with Morgan Curley from the Lady Rams of Raceland. She's been on fire. She's 2 for 2 on Monday against West Carter. Raceland had a 19-7 win. She had a triple and a home run, drove in 4 runs, I believe. Through Monday, she had 41 RBIs, hitting .574, 6 home runs. That's the triple crown of the area, guys. She's leading in every single category, those 3 big categories, offensive categories. So Morgan Curley, the catcher, the left-handed catcher at Raceland, gets my game ball.
Very nice.
You want this?
Nah, I'm good. Regular viewers of the show know that I tend to go off the beaten path a little bit with the game ball kind of stuff. It's almost May. It's really hot out here, but we're going to go to basketball season here for a minute. Christy Orm, Fleming County, just accepted a job at Pikeville this week. She's coached 18 years, 16 of them at Fleming County, 2 at Scott County. If the KHSAA's records are right, and if my math are right, which both are kind of fuzzy from time to time, 299 career wins in those 18 years, 7 district championships, 2 trips to the region finals, 4 trips to the region semifinals. When she came to Fleming County in 2000, had not won a district championship in 11 years before that. 3 years before that, they got beat 74-18 in the region tournament. 2 years before that, they were 5-14. They come in, they win a district championship, they go to the region semifinals her first year at Fleming. Fleming County is just one of those teams where they just played, you knew they would play tremendously hard for Christy. They're not usually real good offensively, but they played hard, played really sticky man-to-man defense. Just they were greater than the sum of their parts. So you kind of look at that as somebody who really kind of transformed the culture of their program a little bit. So we're going to go with Christy Orm on her way out the door.
Sounds like Zach studied for this show.
Wow, yeah. And you also notice that he threw the ball away from the equipment. I hope you picked up on that.
Next week I'm going right at the camera, just for effect.
Okay.
Let's play 2. Let's play 2. Top games of the weekend. Let's go with softball first, guys. East Jessamine and Ashland, they play at Woodford County. East Jessamine won the first meeting 8-0. The Kittens have another chance to show, hey, we're not going away yet. You know, I mean, East Jessamine, to compete with them, maybe not win the game, make it a little closer at 8-0 this time, and show the state and show the region we're not quite done yet.
Yeah, give Scott Ingram credit for, as they have the last few years, very tough schedule to get them ready for the postseason. Realistically, if you want to be competitive in a state tournament setting, you need to be playing people from outside this area. They have, as always, put a lot of effort into that as well. East Jessamine came down here a couple weeks ago for the tournament that Russell and Ashland hosted together. East came down here, had a very nice showing, went undefeated, I believe, highly ranked in the state. So very good test again for Ashland, getting ready for region tournament. If you want to be tested, if you want to play well the region tournament, you want to win it, and you want to go down to Owensboro and actually make some noise, this is the kind of stuff you got to be doing this time of year.
Well, I think Ashland has really adjusted well to a post-Megan Hensley softball era. I guess you could say softball era. Megan Murphy's really pitched well in the circle this year. You know, but Ashland plays 4 tough teams this weekend, not just East Jessamine.
Right.
You got to remember, also they played another top 10 team in Woodford County.
That's correct.
So, you know, like you said, a very tough schedule. They're always well tested at this time of the year. So, you know, another chance of redemption for them.
Something interesting, Gabby Ingram is actually leading them in RBIs this year. They've kind of been looking for that dependable bat. Megan Murphy's been good as well, but Ingram has 28 RBIs. You know, maybe, you know, some other names that you aren't quite familiar with will step up here in the coming weeks for Ashland. And the other game we're going to look at is Ashland at Raceland baseball. That's going to be Saturday at 1 o'clock. The first meeting went the Tomcats' way, 8-3. That was way back on March 15th, though, man.
Had a lot of young players on both these teams. I think they're continuing to grow a little bit. Ashland's got a great coach in place, Johnny LeMaster, who's played Major League Baseball. It's a great teacher for the young kids to have someone who's been at that level. They have a great leadoff hitter in Braxton Ratliff. I don't know if you ever seen 464 this year. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen him play at all, but he is just a great leadoff, very fast, can hit the ball, can play in the field. You got a lot of I think future stars in the region here in this game that you can see, and it's going to be just a great test for both teams. Especially they still got some district games coming up. Raceland's got Graham County twice next week,
right?
So another game to work some of the kinks out in their game.
Two teams that have been a little bit up and down this year. They've done some good things. They've struggled. Both have a pretty big district win in the bag. Ashland beat Boyd County a couple of weeks ago, and then Boyd, of course, came back and got them on Tuesday night. Raceland split with Russell. So these are two teams a little up and down. They need to try to kind of, like Matt said, get on a roll before district time rolls around.
All right, let's bring in Russell head coach Tim Rice. All right, we're here at Russell with Red Devils head coach Tim Rice. First year on the job as the head coach. What's the biggest adjustment from assistant to head coach?
From assistant to head coach, the adjustment period wasn't too difficult just because Coach Martino was so gracious to me to allow me to run things the way I wanted to run. I guess the most difficult thing is paperwork and scheduling and some of the things that I didn't do last year because I was hired on a little later.
Right.
But you know, getting used to that stuff, and we got a great AD that's helped me along the way, and you know, so that adjustment period wasn't as difficult as it could have been.
I know you talked to Zach, you know, before the season began when you took the job, actually, about Coach Martino and how he helped you, you know, kind of give you the freedom and things of kind of helping run the team last year, you know, kind of like a head coach in waiting role. You know, what did you pick up from Coach Martino?
You know, the biggest thing I picked up from Coach Martino was, you know, just the relationships with kids. You know, we go about things a little differently. We're two different personalities, but we both had that love for coaching the game and being around the young athletes.
And you know, you're really not that far removed from playing. Back in the early 2000s, you played at University of Washington, played catcher for them. Can you talk about that experience? How did that kind of shape your life?
You know, I was a kid growing up in Seattle. When I was in middle school, the University of Washington football team won the national title, and I've always considered myself a Husky. And when they called me and asked me to transfer up there, there was no other school that I would even consider. So, you know, I got to be a Husky, and I still consider myself a Husky. And you know, we always have that saying, when you're a dog for life. So. That's what the way we are, and I try to shape a lot of what we do here. You know, the practice plans, the BP scenarios, some of the plays we run and things like that are things that I've learned from my college playing experience.
How are the Huskies doing this year?
They're doing really well. My coaching staff is no longer there, but Coach Meggs is doing an outstanding job. He's got a great team, and they're contending for Pac-12 titles.
So from Seattle to the tri-state area, you went to Marshall before you ended up here.
Right.
What about that jump? What about that move? Can you kind of talk about what went into that?
I was coaching collegiately back home at a junior college. I coached 2 years at Tacoma Community College. I decided it was time for me to make a move, and Marshall hired me as the volunteer assistant. So my wife and I actually newly married. We got married August 7th, 2004, and August 14th, 2004 was my first day at Marshall. So we used our honeymoon as driving cross country and in 2 separate cars, but it was something that you know, was a great opportunity for me to continue my coaching career.
Hey, impressive. You remember the date.
Yes,
you know?
yes.
So he's not going to get in trouble at home.
No.
He knows the anniversary.
I do.
Coach, what's this season been like? How much growth have you seen from your team? Obviously 22 wins last year, so you know, pretty good core guys coming back. But what have you noticed from day one to now?
I think the biggest thing is our upperclassmen, our juniors and our seniors have really kind of taken that step forward. Matthew Strother has stepped into an everyday role. He was kind of a bullpen guy for us last year. This year, we're using him in the closing role, long relief, spot starter, but he's also been a guy that we've used in the middle of our order. He's caught a little bit, played some first base. You might see him over at third base later in the season, just to get him in, to get some swings, and he's really made that jump. We move in Landon Brewer from shortstop to first base. He's gotten a little more comfortable, and his average has jumped almost 200 points. Another junior that stepped in and played every day, Troy Gillum, was a guy that was a JV guy for us last year, pitching and playing shortstop, and this year he's hitting right around 400 and playing pretty well at shortstop. So those guys making that jump is huge for us to continue our success the rest of the season.
Monday night you went down to Greenup County, a very respectable showing against an undefeated team as of right now. Of course, you play them again tonight, and this is filmed on Wednesday. You'll be watching this Friday. Monday night, 8-5 game, and you guys were right with them every step of the way. Of course, they hit a big home run that kind of ended up being the difference. But what does that say about your team, and how does that help you guys kind of going forward?
I think it gives us confidence going forward. I've told these guys all year long that when we play our game, we can play with anyone in the state, and I think we proved that Monday night, going against the #1 team in the state and having a 4-run lead for most of the game. Again, we made a couple of mistakes, and good teams capitalize on mistakes, and they did that. We played right with them right to the end, and our guys didn't give up. They didn't fight. They tried to scratch and claw and get back into that game, and that's the kind of our MO all season. We don't give up. We don't lay down for anybody, and we're just going to keep fighting, keep getting better.
It's a few more weeks till you'll get to the off season. I know you're focused on the season right now and the goals of this season, but what about the off season? What kind of hobbies you got?
Basically just my kids.
Okay. Two of them?
I got 2 kids. I got a girl who's 9, Addison, and my son Cooper just turned 5. Okay. He's got some t-ball this summer, and that's
always fun.
I'm going to be doing baseball. That's my hobby. That's my love. That's my life. My family and baseball. My wife Hillary and I, we kind of understand we're a baseball family.
All right, Coach. Best of luck the rest of the way.
Thank you.
All right. Here on HTPT, we continue with Landon Brewer, a junior, on the baseball team, on the basketball team, and on the football team. All 3 sports, all your life, you said, right?
Yes, sir.
What is your favorite? Do you have one?
I'd say baseball for sure. Yeah. Football's fun. Basketball's I just play it just to keep me active, but baseball's for sure my favorite.
Well, let me ask you about basketball because Russell's undergoing a coaching change. Obviously, Coach Strader was here for a season, and now Coach Brian Groves comes in. How familiar are you with Coach Groves?
Well, he came in a little bit last year and helped us with practice, and he's a pretty good coach. I mean, I'm excited for this year coming up. We'll be pretty solid. We're young. We'll be pretty good.
And he's a young guy too, so
yes.
A lot of times you see that work out pretty well. It's worked out pretty well here for the baseball team too. A coach in his 30s, Coach Rice. How far has this team come along? And I asked him kind of the same thing, since day one to now.
We were young these last couple of years, and I think we're finally starting to get the hang of it and stuff. We're pretty close. Moved us around a little bit, and I think it's the best. We're going to be pretty good.
Well, looking at the stats here, I got to have my cheat sheet here. Leading the team in average, 472, home runs, 3 homers, 19 runs scored, 22 RBIs and 6 doubles and 12 stolen bases. Leading the team in all those categories. What has worked so well for you this year?
It's just clicked for me. I mean, I've seen pitching for the last 2 years in varsity, and it's finally I've just got a hang of it a little bit. So I've seen about everything. So it's just clicking for me. I hit a little bit on the off season as much as I can. But other than that, it's just clicked.
What about this power? Where does it come from?
I mean, I'm sure it helps a little bit in 7th period with Coach Maynard, our football coach, but during when we don't have games, we lift a little bit and just keep it going and all that, yeah.
Seen those numbers go up a lot in the weight room?
Oh yeah, for sure, big time.
All right, Landon, what is it about this team you think can propel it to the next level, and that being, contending for a region title this year? What do you think can happen?
I don't know. I just think we'll be pretty good. I mean, we're going to start hitting real well. We've been hitting pretty well. Just need to stop the errors a little bit, and we'll be just fine.
All right, Landon, we're going to bring in Matthew Strother, also known as Swish. We'll talk to him about that.
All right, thank you.
Back here on HTPT, closing out the interview portion with Russell Baseball with Russell closer, Matthew Strother. And Matthew, one of the things that kind of stands out about you, I was covering a game here a couple weeks ago, went down to get the lineup from Coach Rice out of the dugout, and right there in the middle of the batting order, it didn't say Strother, it said Swish. I was like, okay, so there's probably a story to this, not real sure what's going on. And where's that come from?
About 7th grade, I moved here from East Carter, and they didn't really know much about me, except I had this jersey, and on the back it just said Swish. It was a Nick Swisher jersey. He was with the Yankees at the time, and it just stuck.
Okay. So were you a Swisher fan all the way back to when he was in Oakland, or just kind of picked it up there? Yeah.
That's why I wear 30 too.
Yeah, okay, very nice. Well, one of the things that you've been doing here over the last few years is you've switched around several different positions. Coach Rice talked about he used you in a corner infield role, even a little bit at catcher, start a little bit, close a lot. What's it been like to what's it like to come to the ballpark every day and know that you might have a different thing to do on any given day?
It's interesting. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I love playing everywhere.
Yeah.
Just wherever they can get me in the lineup.
He said he's been using you a little bit to kind of spot at catcher. And what's it like playing catcher for a guy who played D1 as a catcher?
It's nice. He knows a lot about the game and a lot about the position. So.
Yeah. Okay. Very cool. You guys as a team, talking to some of you guys and Coach Rice a couple weeks ago, you felt like you really kind of hit your stride when you went down to Florida for the spring break trip, kind of like last year. What is it about that trip that week that just kind of jump starts it for you guys?
Well, we're in the same room basically every night for 4 or 5 days, and we just come together. It's a lot of fun.
Very cool. You guys got some, of course, a big invitational coming up here within the next couple of weeks, and then just kind of taper down to the end of the season. What are some things that you guys can keep doing to kind of get ready for postseason play and shore some things up?
We've got to start hitting a little better, start pitching a little better, and we'll be all right.
As a senior, he talks about the leadership that you upperclassmen have begun to show here and kind of stepping into the roles that some of the guys who graduated last year vacated. Of course, coming off a run to the region finals last year, what's it been like to kind of step up and take that leadership role from those guys?
It's been a little tough. It's a little slow at the beginning, but it's getting better. It's getting better as you all know.
Okay. Senior here at Russell, what are some of your interests off the field and maybe academic interests or what you do for fun?
I have a pretty tough schedule for academics, so I got to study pretty hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Good problem to have, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, well, we'll be back in a minute here on HTPT.
All right, before we close with HTPT's Two for the Road here at Russell, we got to talk about the draw. State tournament draw for softball and baseball happened today.
So that was
the results are in.
That was a draw for the draw?
No, this is an actual draw.
This is the draw
a real
for the draw.
thing.
Okay.
Okay, it's
so
showtime.
only one draw.
It's showtime.
Okay, good.
Yeah, just one draw.
Okay.
All right, softball in Owensboro. Zach, give us the matchups for the 15th and 16th region champions.
So you can't see me, but I got Twitter fired up over here. Region 16, 16th region champion plays the 12th region champion. That would be the East Jessamine region.
Yeah.
Somerset, Nicholasville, etc.
Okay.
15th region plays the 2nd region. If I'm not mistaken, that's the Christian County Hopkinsville region.
That's right.
Yeah, you're right.
That's right.
You're on it.
Okay, how about baseball in Lexington?
16th region winner plays the 7th region winner. That would be one of the Louisville regions.
Tough.
Yes, and the 15th region plays the 9th region winner. That would be the Northern Kentucky region.
Okay, so there you have it. There you have it for baseball, 16-9 and baseball 16-7 and 15-9. And then softball is 15-2 and 16-12.
We have to mention too, next week West Carter will be in Whitaker Bank Ballpark for the Class A state tournament.
Yeah, they're in the quarterfinals.
They're in the quarterfinals, so we're not sure who they play, but I know that they play the first game of the state tournament at 10 o'clock that morning.
Yeah.
You'll probably see that in the paper here in the coming days.
Right. All right, and we'll talk about that a little bit more next week.
Yeah.
Okay, Two for the Road. Some unfortunate news over the weekend out of Sunday, out of Bowling Green. Quentin Baker, the former Ashland Star running back, was charged with multiple things. If you want to look at the specific charges, you can check out dailyindependent.com or check out the Daily Independent on Tuesday's edition. I'm not going to run through all those right now, but Baker made a bad mistake.
He did.
To start off his time at Western Kentucky, but that's not to say he can't overcome it. It's not insurmountable, you know. It's one night. He made a mistake. He can cut out that newspaper clipping if he wants. Others in his family can cut out that newspaper clipping if they want, or any kind of report that was made on it, and they can save that. And Quentin Baker can one day look at that and be like, that was me that one night, but that's not me now. That's not me as a person. You know, I made that mistake, but I learned from it. I became motivated by it, and I have these goals that I'm going to accomplish at Western and maybe going forward. And you know, if he can learn from that, that would be great. And I think he can. You know, I think he's a bright kid. Yeah. And I shouldn't say kid because he's 18 now. Yeah. He's a bright young man, and I think he has a lot of potential on and off the field. Quentin had an electrifying career at Ashland. Obviously, the all-time leading rusher for the Tomcats, and that's not an easy thing to do. But you know, it's something that that you can't just sweep under the rug. You can't just ignore. You have to realize it, and I think he has. He put on his Facebook page that you know, this is a mistake. He's going to learn from it and move on from it, and he's going to look. And he's using you know, some of the haters, so to speak, as motivation, and that's great. I hope it works out for him.
I would agree with all that. You know, he's a young guy in a new environment, made a mistake. Who hasn't really made a mistake when they're a kid? Right. Especially at college. I think he will.
Hey, I made some dumb decisions in college too.
I'm sure he'll learn from it and kind of and move on and probably have a great career for the Hilltoppers.
All right.
I'm going to go with the NFL draft. I don't know if you've heard. You have if you watched ESPN for the last 3 months.
Or year round, man.
Yeah, the year round, but it's really the last 3 months. The NFL draft this weekend. Now, of course, everybody pays attention to the first, second round. Those are the more highlighted players, the more big name players, if you want to say. But you wait around to Saturday, the late rounds, you might hear a guy's name called, has some local ties to this area. Sebastian Johansson, aka the Big Swede.
Big Swede.
Played his junior year of football at Raceland High School.
That's right.
Very good, very well. You know, didn't really play much football until he came over here. Helped the team to a 12-1 record. They were undefeated that season in 2008, won #1 in the state, lost the region final to LCA. But that 1 year drew Marshall's attention. Doc Holliday and Phil Ratliff wanted him, got him to Marshall, and now he is probably a late draft selection by some team, and probably will be a great steal in the draft for any team that wants to draft him.
Yeah, I'm hearing later rounds. Yeah. And I'm hearing that several teams are inquiring about it.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's not like the NBA. A late draft doesn't really mean anything because
Tom Brady was.
Well, I was just going to say Tom Brady, the 6th round pick.
There you go.
You know, as long as you get drafted, you got a chance to play and play well and play significant minutes in the NFL.
Especially at that position.
Yeah, so it's good luck to him. I've met the guy several times. He still loves racing. He calls it his second home. Nice guy. So I wish him all the best.
All right. All right, for Matthew Sparks, Zack Klemme, I'm Aaron Snyder. This has been HTPT at Russell. Thank you to Coach Tim Rice, Matthew Strother, and Landon Brewer for joining us. Brought to you by Fannin Automotive Family. See you next week.